Welcome back to another episode of the Danny Beal Show. Today we had on another very special guest, Brian Dilday, leader of the left field Megaphones in the Jungle, as well as the father of the 2024-2025 ECU Family of the Year. Brian's awesome. He's obviously been a huge supporter of ECU baseball and athletics for many, many years. You'll hear him out with his family every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday out there yelling at the Jungle for the baseball Pirates. But no, we had a great conversation today. Talked a lot about faith. Talked a lot about how the Jungle was born and raised, and his upbringing and his background with his family as well. So hope you guys enjoy. He's obviously a very special human. Does a lot of in the community. So hope you guys enjoy, and thanks for tuning in. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Danny Beal Show. Today we, again, have another very special guest, leader of the left field Megaphones, of course, ECU superfan, father of the 2024-2025 Family of the Year. We have Brian Dilday.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for coming in again on such short notice, but what you guys been up to lately? Obviously, you brought Bubba, who's behind the camera, but what's going on?
Well, this time of year, I'm trying to get everything I can done
Right.
so that whenever baseball season comes around, it frees me up a little bit.
Right.
But every day is just another day where I get to do my job with teaching and then do stuff with my after school and then moving on. I've always got stuff to do with my youth program. So, never a dull moment.
Always busy.
And then throw stuff in there with the kids. And then why not have a Thursday night football game and let's go cheer on the Pirates.
That's right.
So we're always going to have a little fun. But
Yeah, well, it's funny because more like people know you obviously from the Megaphones, the funny videos with the left fielders, obviously always being loud and proud in the Jungle. But you just mentioned a lot of stuff that you do outside of the field that a lot of people don't know you about. Obviously with your youth group and teaching and stuff. So tell us a little bit about your background, how obviously you met your wife here, had a bunch of kids that are awesome to be around. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've always been a person of a lot of passion.
Right.
Sports has always been a part of my life. I was born here in Greenville, and then in first grade we moved to Cary. And that's whenever I signed my letter of intent, I'm going to come back to be a Pirate.
yeah. That's right.
I knew right away. Once we moved to Cary, I was like, oh, yeah, I knew I was coming back to Greenville.
Right.
So as far as my different jobs and stuff, my passion is working with the youth. I love being able to teach. I love being able to lead. And, whenever you're going into physical education, you're looking at like, okay, what level do I want to be at? Elementary school, middle school, high school. And I said, I want to be the kids' foundation.
Right.
I got them for 6 years, and let's go. I want to be able to teach them how to be people of character, being able to learn how to live a healthy and physical lifestyle.
Sure.
And just being able to work with the kids at the school and just bring just a big, happy, just joy. That's the biggest thing. Is I just bring a lot of energy.
Yeah. Trust me, we know.
And we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. And then now with my after school and summer camp, with teaching, I love what I do, but it's not like it's going to bring in a ton of money.
Yeah. Well, as everybody knows, it's the way teaching is nowadays.
And so God blessed me with a lot of the ability to be able to work with kids, and I have a very hard work ethic.
Yeah.
And so I have no problem going out there and finding extra ways to do things for my family and stuff. And so one of the first things was starting a little after school program. It was just a once a week program. We did it at the school. Nice. And then things started to change, and we couldn't do it at the school anymore. And so with that, it was like no big deal. But what ended up happening is this opened up some bigger doors.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
the way God always works.
yeah, exactly. Yes. And so I was able to go ahead, and I've got my partner that I run the business with, Erica Dawson. Her and I, we taught together for 10 years.
Oh, nice.
And then we, with redistricting of the school system, we had to split and go to different. She went to another school, and I stayed at Walcoats.
Okay, nice.
So I've spent all 28 years of teaching at Walcoats Elementary School.
6 years, or now 5 years older than I am.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Thank you. It's
Yeah,
always,
yeah, sorry, that was
people
mean.
like y'all make me feel
That
really,
was mean.
really good. You know?
Yeah, that was mean. Sorry.
But so we've run our program. It's called Kids Connection, and we have an after-school program, summer camp. The after-school program came on a little bit later. That started about, I want to say, years just fly now.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want to say we're in our 6th year of the after-school program, but
Yeah. Yeah.
And then whenever I was always being involved in my church, I was a youth advisor, and with that, the pastor came up to me and said, "Brian, I need a little help." Our associate pastor that was in charge of the youth, she was getting ready to take on another position.
Okay.
And he came to me and he said, would you be willing to just get us to May? He came to me in January and said, just get us to May. And I said, hey, look, whatever you
I'm
need,
your guy.
I can get you to May easily, no problem whatsoever. Well, then May came around. He said, okay, Dilday, I need you to do this a little bit more. And I said, yes, sir.
Figured,
You
yeah.
know, I talk to our youth all the time about, hey, when God makes that call, what's your answer?
That's right.
And I love to say, here I am, Lord. Here I am.
Sure.
And so here I am, 11 years into being the youth director at First Presbyterian Church. And just the number of kids, their lives that I've been able to touch through elementary school, through youth program,
I can only
through
imagine,
summer camp, and then also do things in the community as far as coaching.
Yeah.
I always told Bryson, I said, look, I'll be more than happy to be your coach as long as you want me to.
Yeah, exactly.
But once Little League ended, I told him, I said, that's where we'll go ahead. You go ahead and do your thing, and you keep doing it. And but with 4 kids, the 4 jobs.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
My wife teaches. We have a wonderful relationship.
Yeah.
And we just have so much fun with everything that we do. So.
No doubt. Anybody that knows you guys, obviously, knows you guys are super fans and like the consummate professional of what an ECU super fan should look like. The family, obviously, Bryson's always around. Casey's just graduated or about to graduate?
Casey graduated in May, and so
very cool.
She's getting ready to go back into for her master's. She starts back in January at ECU.
Very cool. And then one of your other daughters is about to graduate from Conley, correct?
Yes.
And so it's going very well.
So Cameron, she's a dancer, and her schedule can get a little crazy, especially on the weekends with her dance and everything. And then with what she's done with pageants. And so she's getting ready to finish up at Conley, and she wants to go to ECU.
She does.
She's already been accepted to ECU.
Really awesome.
And her goal is to be a teacher. And
well, look at her following in mom and dad's footsteps. Isn't that nice?
We've done everything we can to convince her not to, but you know what? I'm just kidding.
Heart wants what it wants.
Exactly. And you have whatever your passion is, you follow it.
That's right.
And then her other goal is to be on the ECU dance team.
Nice. Very nice.
And so you just talk about that super family and that passion. And with ECU, we tie it all together, and this is going to be one of those icing on the cake type moments.
No kidding. It really is a tradition for sure.
The day that we can get her to see her on the field and be dancing and representing East Carolina University.
That's got to be super special. And kind of going back to what you said with your kids that you've helped out in your youth group and stuff. Obviously, you've been doing it for 11 years now. So being able to seen as you've lived here, those kids grow up and see how you've impacted their lives. And the great thing is they're obviously being able to do. But the same thing goes for your own kids. Like being able to see Bryson obviously grow up, your other kids grow up and grow into the things that like the principles that you've taught. Like obviously, bleeding purple and gold is primary number one. But obviously, Casey doing what she's done, your other daughter obviously coming here and trying to be on the dance team. It's got to be a proud moment for you and Miss Dilday.
Definitely. And then I don't want to leave out Maddie just
she's not a pirate, right?
Just because she went to state, I won't leave her out. But she is with her passion is to be a vet.
Yeah.
And so she's getting ready.
That's the school you go to.
Yep. She's getting ready to finish up a year early. She's already gotten through the first process of going through the interviews for
Oh,
vet
nice.
school. And so now she's just waiting a little bit longer to see what happens. And with all of our kids, we've always told them, come from the heart.
Right.
And when you come from the heart, good things will happen.
And it's good things have happened for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town. They also serve sandwiches, appetizers, cold beer, and more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Tiebreakers is in Greenville at Bell's Fork on Greenville Boulevard and in downtown Winterville on Railroad Street. Well, you brought the megaphone, so let's get into the jungle a little bit. Obviously, for years and years and years, all people hear about is the jungle, the jungle, the jungle. It's if you go to ECU, the jungle's going to be on your tail, all that good stuff. Well, a lot of people probably, including myself, to be quite honest, don't necessarily know how it all got started and what the... Obviously, why baseball? Why was that the sport that you picked? What was the process of like, all right, here's how we're going to do it and here's how we're going to start it all. So I guess start from square one of like, all right, what was the thought process and why baseball?
Well, with the megaphone starting, the new stadium's getting ready to get built. We had already established we were out there in the jungle, in the old jungle and everything. Right. And, it wasn't very big.
Yeah. If you've seen pictures, he's absolutely spot on.
It was a nice, tiny stadium, but the atmosphere was a rocking atmosphere. I mean, obviously, we couldn't ever host regionals or anything like that. And so the powers that were above in the athletic department, they said, we got to do something. Yeah. And that's part of the LeClaire vision.
Yeah.
LeClaire was like, look, if we want to get to where we want to go and be able to go to Omaha, then the goal is we have to have a bigger stadium.
Which realistically is the right way to think about it.
Exactly. We have to be able to host on campus. We have to be able to host in our home place. Because going to Kinston, going to Wilson, going different places.
It's just a pain, man.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
And then so many times when you're like, okay, you're going to be the number one seed, but you can go down to LSU.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that helps nobody. That defeats the purpose of being a number one seed.
Exactly. Yeah. And so with the new stadium coming, they're breaking the ground and everything, and we knew the trees were going to be taken out.
Right.
And that truly was what the jungle was. I mean, people would be in big games up in the trees, in their deer stands and stuff.
That's so cool, though.
Oh, I mean, it was wild.
Yeah,
I bet. It was very wild. And so I was like, how are we going to be able to let the guys know that we still are going to bring the same passion and same love for them? Well, at the time, my wife had a cheerleading business, and I was over there the night before our opening day, which opening day I always take off. It's a holiday for us.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yes.
It's a national holiday.
I would think that more people would get on board with this.
I don't know what their problem is, but yeah.
Just go ahead. Schools, let's go
ahead.
Yeah,
it's like the day after the Super Bowl. It's the same thing. That should be a holiday, so should opening day.
Well, it's just like if we're going to host a regional. Hey, that Monday, if we have to play on Monday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Done. Oh, spot on.
So I'm not going into work. I'm finishing up a tumbling class 4, and then I'm leaving, and I look in her office, and I see the megaphone. And I said, that's it. That's what I need to do. The guys will know that we're there. The guys will hear us. The guys, it'll be rocking. So my wife's heading to go do some errands, and she drops me off at the field at 9 a.m. because that was the first game.
Of course she did.
Yeah. It was going to be the first game of the LeClaire tournament, and that's how they were opening up the stadium. And so they were going to have us play the first one and not the second one. Right. Typically, they always do the second one now.
Yeah.
But with it being the very first game of the new stadium.
Wanted to be the Pirates, right?
Yes.
Right.
So 11 a.m. game, she's dropped me off. I had my Bojangles bag.
That's a beautiful thing.
I had my cooler, and then I had the megaphone in tow.
I mean, that doesn't Bojangles, cold beer, and a megaphone. I don't know what gets much better. I mean, that's spot on.
I cruise on up in there. It was just me for a little bit, and then everybody started to pile in.
Yeah.
But start cheering on the guys, start yelling, and well, you got to imagine with the stadium empty when I was getting there for the BP.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that megaphone was just. I mean, it was booming. It was banging. I bet everybody could hear it.
It's funny that you said that because even now when there's BP and you sneak your way in before like the gates open and stuff. You don't even need the megaphone, and we know it's you, just because of your bass of your voice. Nonetheless, you add that in, and it's like, okay, he's here. Yep, yeah. Brian Dilday's here. He's arrived. Yep, yeah.
It's time to play.
Yeah, that's right.
We can play now. And well, so the game goes. It was a very close one. We ended up beating Michigan. I want to say it was 1-0. Mm-hmm. And after the game, some of the traditions haven't changed. They come out to do their do the jump, and we're out there. We're calling them. They're all coming around doing the lap. We're giving them the high fives. And then I was going to say it was Daryl, Trevor, Mort Mendikazi, all those guys. And I said, all right, well, I'm done with this. And they said, whoa, no, sir. That's going to go with you forever. You got to do that.
Oh, man.
And so when they told me that, I'm like, yep.
This is the calling.
This is what I got to do. So,
God, that's so awesome.
So the megaphone began. And then we go to State.
Oh, boy.
And I bring the megaphone. And because, well, you know, State, they have such a large stadium.
They hate fun is basically what we're getting at. Yeah, exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
But I walk up there and they're like, you can't bring that in. I said, no, I talked to my AD. My AD said we could.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, okay, go
I did my research. Yeah.
I said, go right ahead.
Yeah.
We go up on top, and you know, with their stadium, they can hear me loud enough without the megaphone.
For sure.
And we're right there behind our dugout, and we're just yelling. We're up 3-0. And next thing I know, one of Wake County sheriffs comes down to me.
No way, dude. And we'll get into some stories where this has happened more than once, believe it or not. We'll get into some stories later, but keep going. Jeez Louise.
And he comes down and he's like, sir, I need to ask you to put that down. And I said, well, am I yelling anything profane? And they're like, no. But you just can't use that anymore. And if you can't abide, I said, okay, no problem. You know what? I really don't need it in here.
Yeah, exactly. So in this cracker box you guys call a stadium.
Yeah. So I put it down and no problem until later in the game. Now, State did come back. They took the lead. They were beating us. And then a girl goes walking by with a sign. And it had some just bad words on it about ECU.
No.
And
it's
so
like, all right, game on. Here we go.
So at that point, I'm like, all right. So I pick up the megaphone again and I start telling her, I say, hey, look, you don't need to do that. Yeah,
That's true.
And I once again wasn't saying anything vulgar to her or anything like that. I'm just telling her, hey, we're still Pirates, we're still here. Whether we win or lose, we're not going to leave and we're going to support our team.
That's right.
You don't need to be putting up a sign that has bad words about ECU on it. Sheriff comes back to me. He's like, I told you, if you use it, it's got to go.
Brother.
So I told him it is an antique. And
and please don't break it.
So he said, well, I tell you, it'll be waiting for you at the gate, so just pick it up as you leave. I said, yes, sir. Well, 2 days later, from an anonymous Pirate Club member on my doorstep was 6 other megaphones. And he said,
dude, that's awesome. No way.
He said, I saw what they did to you at the state game. We'll buy you all the megaphones you ever need. And so just go ahead and keep doing what you do.
God bless them.
Go Pirates. And so we have. And then I just spread those megaphones out amongst all my other buddies.
God, that is awesome. We're like, and I guess for me, it's special just because of the way I've been able to like grow into it and obviously embrace all the people out there. But one, I guess this is a two-parter. One, was it just like, hey, your buddies are going to come along, I'll just give you one, I'll give you one, I'll give you one kind of thing? Or did you specifically pick them? And I guess the second part of that is with the traditions and stuff, with the jungle run, the jungle jumps, all that stuff. Was that like, at that Michigan game, was that predetermined? Was like, here's what we're going to do? Or is it just spur of the moment? All right, now it's a tradition kind of thing?
Well, as far as the megaphones, I mean, we've got our pretty set
close
group out there. And so, yes, it was all them.
Yeah.
Bats, Todd.
Sure.
Todd's brother,
yeah,
Adam.
That's right, yeah.
And then, talk about like some of my kids that I taught, Scooter.
It's just so cool.
So
That's what I'm saying.
I taught Scooter, and so he got one of the megaphones. And then Sean, he's another one of my students. And then, the parents would bring him out there. And then because Jared Plummer came along a little bit later.
Yeah.
He and I knew each other at ECU.
Okay.
Because I also did athletic training. So, I've always been a very responsible person.
yeah. Right.
It wasn't like I've always been just running around just downtown and everything.
But you would think by how passionate you are, yes.
Now, some people, they would look at me and they, hold on, that guy's not drinking. That
guy doesn't have a beer and a megaphone and saying, what's going on? Something's wrong.
But when I was in college, I didn't drink in college.
Yeah.
So I was a resident advisor. I was always been a good guy, just very responsible. Here we roll.
Right.
But so back to then other people, they would just say, hey, look, we want to get a megaphone too. They'd go online now. They get them. Kids, dads will come up with their kids. They'll get them. Bubba has his. I mean, that's been ever since he's been old enough to hold bat, a ball, and a megaphone.
It's like Jared in that video in 2019 when he's holding his baby and we're all cheering.
Yes,
and I'm like, that is literally peak pirate right there. That's awesome.
And so we just we come together. The pirate fan base is a very passionate fan base.
No doubt.
And that passion, it shows to a lot of us. And everybody gives everything they can. And we're so thankful for all the Pirate Club members that are donating so much of their money and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back to the whole subject of being a teacher, I can only give so much money.
Yeah, that's right. Seriously. No kidding, right?
But
Yeah.
passion, give everything from my heart for Pirate Athletics.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Curtis Construction. Since 1960, they've been dedicated to servicing commercial roofs with an unwavering commitment to quality, integrity, and service excellence. Curtis Construction offers a range of services, including roof replacements, restoration, repairs, preventative maintenance, inspections, and emergency services. Whether you need a reliable roof provider or want to learn more about the trade, visit curtiscc.com or give them a call at 252-523-1078. These people are great. They've always been huge supporters of East Carolina baseball and East Carolina athletics. They have kids that are in the community. They're awesome. The Caseys, shout out. Go support Curtis Construction. That's right. And I guess, and it leads right into my next question too, because to prepare a little bit, I talked to Rick Giles, and one of the questions, obviously he has great things to say about you, as everybody does, but one of the things that he brought up was your passion, like you've been saying. And I thought, I know why parents go to the games. I know why girlfriends go. I know why grandparents, whatever else, friends of family. But you have no dog in the fight besides just being a Pirate fan. And for you to go to every game, for you to do all the things that you do, why? Like, what is the reasoning behind it all? And it is very admirable of you, because there's not one other Brian Dilday on the planet, nonetheless, in Greenville, North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and I love all the parents and all the girlfriends and all the players that we've had, the coaches. Right. I can't say nothing but good things about all of them. I mean,
no doubt.
As far as why I do it, for the love of the game.
Yeah,
I love baseball. It's always been my number one sport. I love Pirate Athletics very deeply. Whenever I was a student, I was on many of the posters for football season.
That's awesome.
And, I was one of the ones that helped create the name Minji's Maniacs.
No way. I just see this. We're learning everything, everybody.
We were the original crew.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, coming back to ECU, coming back to Greenville, I tell people a lot. It is a town that is big enough to have a lot of stuff, but it's also small enough where you can know everybody. And
that's actually really good. That's spot on. Yeah.
And I, with anything that I do, it's going to come from the heart, and I'm going to give everything I've got. I'm not going to do it halfway. Mm-hmm. My athletic talent, I was a good athlete. I wasn't a great athlete like yourself.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
But
I didn't pay him to say that.
Yeah. Hey, look, you played for East Carolina University baseball team.
Yeah.
That tells me that you're a very good athlete. But with that, because my goal was to come back to Greenville, and I wanted to play baseball.
Sure.
And
it's a lot of people's goals here.
It is. And when I came back, my senior year of high school, I tore my ACL.
Jeez.
So it's like things just started to change. But at the same time, the best I ever maybe would have been able to do was be able to go through the walk-on tryouts and just be a walk-on tryout, and probably would not make it to the walk-on tryout.
It's a lot of humility there. That's a lot of humility.
But with everything, I'm going to give what I can, and that's my energy and passion for the love of the game and for being able to cheer on the university that I also love.
That is awesome, dude. Because like you said, there is not one other person in the country that is like you, and the amount of passion you have, the amount of passion your family has, it is unmatched in every form or fashion, because it is, you roll up to the field, you know who's going to be there that day. No matter if he's sick, if it's raining, if it's snowing, it doesn't matter. He's going to be there, which is, it truly is a special thing, and you've done a really good job since you've been here.
Well, and think about baseball is, if you go to an away game and you talk, especially to the away team players, or for when you come to the home games and you start talking with the away team, and they're like, dude, they love us.
Yeah, no, seriously.
And the reason why is because they don't have the fans that come to their game. They have their parents, they have their girlfriends, and they'll have a couple fans, but they don't have.
It's an envy thing. Yeah. Seriously, they envy it because of how passionate and how cool you make the jungle. Yeah. Like, you literally make the jungle a national brand almost, and you don't have to admit that, but I'm saying, like, it is so cool.
Well, thank you.
To hear people say that, and I'm like, I know the guy that runs it. It's awesome. It really is special.
Well, with us being able to give and be able to not be a part of the game where it's a negative.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, some people do not like us. We go plenty of places, or people come to us and they're not going to like what we do just because we are very vocal and very loud. But we always police ourselves. We're making sure that we're doing the right things, and
sure.
there's always sometimes we're going to teeter-totter over that line.
That's part of it. It's sports. What would it be without it, right?
But we get to do things for a team. And there is you can see different parts of a game where, like, okay, we did have an effect on that because you just felt the energy just come up from the players. But at the same time, they're the ones out there doing it, and we just want to be there to support them and cheer them on. And
it's so cool because you literally, like you just said, it's funny because you do teeter-totter, but more often than not, it is like clean household family, just like hardcore cheering.
Yes.
But like, the state fans, when they're telling people, they're like, they're the worst. They blah, blah, and it's just like, that's just not true. You have to come and experience it. And when you come and experience it, I mean, there have been numerous conversations that I've had with like opposing players during batting practice or whatever, and even like my dad in particular and other parents as well that talk to opposing teams' parents where they're like, yeah, I just had a couple beers in the jungle with all the guys. Like, you guys are great. I want to come back every year when we play. And it's like, it's stuff like that where it's so special because not everybody has that. Yeah. And it really is a cool thing. But I did have a couple of the ones that come to mind, at least, of my favorite Brian Dilday moments, I guess, if you want to put it this way. But the first one that comes to mind was you driving down to Clearwater and getting there and then getting booted out. What was that like? Because we were all like, obviously had seen Jared put it on Twitter and stuff, and seeing that you guys were coming down. But then when you get there, we obviously hear you as everybody did. But then you just getting absolutely peppered by these guys, and we're like, leave him alone. He's not doing anything, dude. Like the picture, we'll see if we can put it in here. The picture of you in the outfield with the paper one,
yes.
And the guy pointing at you, and you're like, what? It's so funny. But what was like, and I've got obviously a couple more, but what was that like? Because, I mean, after that drive, you're like, dude, just leave me alone. Let me cheer on my team.
Well, they came back to me after we had been cheering on our Pirates and everything. And the guy goes, here's 3 rules. So he gives me 3 rules. Now, they are the Brian Dilday 3 rules for Clearwater, Florida. Yeah. Number 1, we could not talk to the bullpen anymore. So,
okay.
And
that's not unreasonable. Okay.
I said, no big deal.
Yeah.
Number 2, we could not lean over the fence. Well, at Clearwater, the outfield wall there, that's high.
Yeah.
I had no problem with that.
That's fine.
And then the third one was we had to move. So we couldn't lean over the fence and we couldn't talk to the bullpen. So I was going to take care of those 2. The third one, we had to move, and all I had to do was just move 12 foot down.
Yeah.
So I moved 12 feet over. Well, during that time, we had just taken the lead when we were in our spot. I moved.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's superstition at that point.
I moved the 12 feet, and next thing you know, they come back and they go ahead.
See, this is why he's the best. Never give in.
So once that happened, so then I
moved back. I went right back. You have to.
The guy said he came right back. He said, "I told you." I said, "Okay." I mean,
did you at least explain to me, like, listen, dude, hear me out. I don't know if we're on the same level here, but I was standing here. We were winning. I moved. We were losing.
Yes.
Give me the 12 feet, dude. Come on.
And so whenever I told him, I said, "Look, you told me there were 3 rules, and you're right. I did not follow the 1 rule, but I'm telling you, I had to do it. You got to do what you got to do. I had to do what I had to do." And so I did. Right. And with that, he's like, "Well, now I got to do what I got to do, and I got to take you out of here." And I said, "Okay." So now Bryson, he's with me. He was my co-pilot the whole way down.
No, as it should be.
Yeah, he was keeping me awake, playing some good tunes and everything. But so we're a little tired and everything. But he's like, "Oh, I ain't going out there.
Oh,
I'm staying in the stadium."
Yeah, you do what you want to do, but I'll man the ship. I'll man the ship. I got it.
Which he did. He took over and he got everybody riled up, got them cheering. Pirates ended up coming back winning.
Sure did.
It was me and a lady coming in to watch the next game from Tulane. And she pulled it up on her phone, so we're watching.
That's awesome.
So we're watching on her phone outside the stadium, and so I'm getting to hear it, see it, all the good stuff.
Well, if it was delayed where you'd hear the crowd and then you wouldn't have seen the play yet.
Yes.
Oh,
so
gosh.
So when Dixon Williams stole home, yes, we hear the crowd go wild.
And we're like,
then,
what?
Yes, and we're just so, they want it. Yes.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't even see Dixon steal home in person either. I was down in the tunnel warming up because I had just came into pitch, and I'm like, on the off chance that we do come back.
Yeah.
On the off chance, I need to be ready. So I didn't even get to see the coolest moment of the season in person, but I'm glad we're one and the same in that. But
yes.
Yeah.
But I think my wife tells me I have a snarky side, and it came out.
see that.
It came out a little bit whenever the guy, and I'm like, look, you represent Philadelphia. Y'all
Throw batteries at people.
Yes, you throw batteries at Santa Claus,
Yeah.
and you're going to kick me out for you talking and cheering on my team.
Shame on you. Yeah, okay.
He
All right,
didn't
tough
like
guy.
that, and he's like, yeah,
We'll see it.
you're definitely gone now.
Yeah, he probably wasn't even a Phillies fan. He was just a worker, which is even better.
But give it up to Pirate Nation. Pirate Nation came through.
Yeah, they did.
I had J.J. McClam. He was calling me after it happened. He's like, look, you just tell me. If I can't get you in, I promise you this, we will get the megaphones back in because Bubba will be able to have them. Because once again, Bubba was like, I'll be at the next game.
All right, I got the ship. I got the wheel.
Whether my dad can't make it in for the
Yeah,
next game because he's
exactly.
on a one-game suspension,
man.
I will be in there.
Oh, man, that's so special, dude.
Oh, but
This episode is also brought to you by Taylor's Forklift in Greenville, your one-stop shop for everything forklifts. They offer new and used forklifts, floor scrubbers, scissor lifts, telehandlers, all-terrain lifts, and much more. With a full-service, parts, and rental department, they offer on-site service and repairs as well as rentals. With over 100 lifts in stock, they are sure to have a lift that fits your needs. Free delivery and warranty on every sale as well. Call, click, or stop by today. Go Pirates! You can visit Taylor's Forklift at 252-215-5438 or at taylorsforkliftnc.com.
yeah.
The funny story, because when you got to get back in, they were like, when you said you could get back in, but if you get kicked out again, I get kicked out.
Yep.
And I was like,
That's scary.
oh, what?
Yeah, all right, fine. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, Bubba started to renegotiate things. He's like,
Yeah, he's turned into an
if he
agent.
gets kicked out again, I got to go too. They're like, yes. He's like,
watch
well,
it. Yeah.
I don't know that guy anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Who's that again? I don't know how I got down here. I forgot. Yeah, my bad. The next moment would be it is very infamous, and I remember I wasn't at this game. I was at the next game and the next game, the Quinn Akin game with the left fielder. That went at actually worldwide in the sports world because everybody, and that was and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that was the first interaction where I saw the left fielder give it back to you guys. I had seen you guys heckle him and go through the whole deal, but that was the first time that I had actually seen the left fielder interact with you guys, which I thought was the way it should be to a certain extent, obviously not in bad ways, but he was very, very cool in the first couple games. Obviously they're winning. They beat us on Friday, but it was cool to see that interaction. And then slowly as the weekend went, you guys interacted with him more and more, and it had turned into a pretty good relationship, right?
Definitely. And that's where my other buddies, they're much more technology savvy than myself. I bring the vocals and I bring the energy, and Jared, he's all over the technology.
Dude, that guy
stuff.
is a Twitter minion. It's unbelievable.
Yes. And so they had reached out and they had been talking and tweeting and all that good stuff. And so he had already started building a relationship with them. I mean, you're thinking it's Quinnipiac.
Yeah.
How much damage can they do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what we thought about every single 4C we played. We always, in Evanston, same thing. Jeez.
But with it, so the Friday night game, my daughter's having her dance recital.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always told them, we do the right thing, good things happen. Well, I'm at the dance recital. After the dance recital, hustle on over. We get to the stadium and everything, and we were down a little bit. I come running in, and just you felt a new energy come in. But one of the things that they wouldn't let us do for the Friday night game is they wouldn't let us bring in megaphones.
That's right. And I remember that. And that's happened a few times over regionals, right?
It has. And so when that took place, I was like, okay, so I'm getting there late. I'm like, no big deal. I just run in. But you just can't create the energy.
No doubt.
Without the megaphone. It's already hard enough when the stadium's packed the way it is.
No, for sure.
You cannot hear the megaphone as well if it's a
Tuesday Elon game, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
So I mean, people they'll hear us when cross over at Elmhurst School
exactly.
on the other side of Greenville and
like,
stuff.
Right, wait, they're playing baseball tonight.
Yeah. We hear them in the megaphone. So the Friday night, the energy you could just feel was not quite as there. I am hoping that I can come in and boom, here we go, give it a little charge, and well, we end up losing.
Right.
But with the left fielder, yes, just a great young man, and he learned real quick to embrace it. There's two ways that you can handle us. One, you can try and be stone cold and don't talk to us.
Yeah.
Try and be negative and just give us cold shoulders, nothing.
Right.
Or you can come back there, interact with us, talk with us, engage with us. And typically the ones that engage with us, they have a much better weekend than the ones.
There's a right way to do it and a wrong way, and he did it the right way.
I have so many stories of left fielders trying to
be the tough guy.
They just want to just take the ball and just shove it right in their
crow hop
face
it right,
and just like take this. We just beat you. Here you go. But the guy from Quinn Akin, he embraced it.
Yeah.
He was loving it, and I mean he was telling us like, look. All of our team, we have maybe 50 people that come out there.
Literally.
And so we knew coming into this atmosphere it was going to be a tough one. And so we wanted to just, hey,
enjoy it.
We're on board with y'all.
Yeah.
We're here for y'all.
We're rooting for you guys.
We're rooting for y'all, and we are hoping to, well, of course, I'm a competitor. They're a competitor. They want to win. There's nobody that just comes and say, hey, look, y'all are the Megaphones. Y'all are the jungle. Y'all are the pirates. Ooh, here's your golden ticket. Just go ahead.
Exactly.
No, there's a reason why you play the game.
And it's funny that you say that because obviously the jolt of energy was recreated the rest of the week, and we had Jake and Zach on last week, and they said the same thing after that. Zach didn't because he wasn't there, but Jake said the same thing where Quinn Akin was like, all right, let's regroup. Let's figure it out. Let's take a breath. And then obviously he goes out and has the performance he has the next day against State, and they roll on for the rest of the weekend. But it is, going back to the Quinn Akin, it is very special to see those interactions, especially because I've seen it a ton, especially since our bullpen's right there, to where I can see whether a guy's being a good dude or not. Like I can see whether he's like giving it back a little bit, enjoying it, or if it's like he's essentially just being a dick, to be quite honest. But I'm glad that he was, and that was, like I said, that was the first time, and I'm glad it was a good interaction because you guys ended up giving him a little goodie bag, food, all that good stuff.
Yes.
The last one, and then I'll ask you. So I'll give you this. Ask you one more, and then I need yours. I need your favorite moment from the jungle. But the Texas series.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Now there's obviously a plethora of moments, like Zach's diving catch, Star's home run. I mean, there's JC's home run. There's numerous events in that series that you could ask about, and obviously you go berserk. The one that comes to mind, I cannot for the life of me remember who hit it. It was a fly ball into left center. It was Amac? Fly ball into left center. Left fielder and center fielder run into each other, drop the ball goes over the fence. Do you take credit for it?
I would love to. You
should have said yes. Dang it.
But you know what? Because that was the Friday game.
Yep. It was game one.
And you know where I was? My daughter's graduation over at
no way.
in Minji's Coliseum. And so, yes.
Man, what a terrible timing that is. No way.
Hey, but do the right thing.
Yeah, family first. Yes. No doubt.
I do a lot of things in three. Faith, family, fun.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so, my faith is very strong. My family is even strong. It's all right there. And then fun. We're going to have fun with whatever we do.
Right.
So, no, I can't take credit for them dropping it or them running in together and the ball going over the fence. But, part of what I've done previously, people are like, look, we're going to bring the energy. And they did. That whole stadium was rocking.
Unbelievable.
You got to love when a stadium is rocking that loud. Because when we're over in Minji's for the graduation, Bryson, he was very kind to be able to run back and forth because the game
You were a trooper, dude. You know that? Yeah. I mean, good Lord. That's awesome.
But he would go down and watch it on the TV because it was inside this.
Okay. Very nice.
and he'd come back up. So, but he was
They
there
were in
for
good shape.
he was there for his sister to hear her, see her across the stage and everything.
That's
and then
awesome.
we go outside, we get a picture, and he's like, "Can I go?" And he's like, and we're like,
Yeah, it's like
"Yes."
releasing the dogs.
And
Yeah.
he took off.
Yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
There's a reason why he runs cross country.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's for moments like that.
The 8th inning where y'all like just imploded.
That was game
Yes.
2. Yep.
No, it was game 1.
Yeah.
Were we lost?
No, we
Oh.
won. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I think it was like 10 to like something, and I think y'all scored 3 more runs. And I think I got there. I left when y'all had 10. And I got there when y'all I think had like 12.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This episode is also brought to you by Todd Howell. Todd Howell is a great mentor of mine, Carter Cunningham's as well, but he has been great in the community, huge supporters of ECU baseball, me, myself, and of course the podcast, but he works over at Kaufman's. Please go support him, get some new winter wear with the season just kicking off, and go support him for being able to support me and the podcast. Carter was on the first episode a few weeks ago, and I still get chills talking about it, but pregame, the purple gold chant of game 1 and 2, to be
Yes.
quite honest, but specifically
Yes.
game 1, like the aura of the Longhorn logo being on the scoreboard, first super regional on campus.
Yes.
At that point, we had just lost, but it was close. We had won 24 out of 25 games. It's like, dude,
Yes.
we're not losing.
Yeah.
And then the purple gold chants where it was Carter portrayed it perfectly. It was you guys would obviously yell purple and the stands would yell gold, but it'd be purple, and then you could hear a pin drop in between the purple and the
Yes.
gold. And dude, oh my god, it makes me,
it
it gets
just
me
gives me
so
the chills.
fired up. I know, doesn't it? It's the same thing. It gets me so fired up because it is the coolest atmosphere, bar none, and that includes the SEC. Because in moments like that where there's so much on the line and it's so like jam packed with people, and it's just like. I still stand by it, and I've said this a couple times. There were at least 8,000 to 9,000 people there. There's no way it was just 6.
No,
yeah,
agree.
exactly.
Yes.
No way.
No way.
Yeah.
And now I can help to take credit for the purple gold cheer to start that game because we didn't have to go to graduation until a little bit later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
there
want
you
to
go.
say we watched 3 or 4 innings and then we had to go to
Yeah.
graduation.
Well, you saw some good parts then.
And then we came on back. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we got him in a good spot. We left
Jet
went to
it back.
graduation. and just-
That's so
I
awesome.
did make it back in time to be able to do part of the jungle jumps.
Beautiful.
Now
That's a good thing.
you had asked earlier about the jungle jumps and the traditions and how we kept things going.
Right.
And so our very first jungle jumps and then going into LeClaire leaps, they started with our original left fielder, and that was Eric Backage.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yep.
wow.
So Eric Backage he was our original left fielder, who now love the guy. He's over at Clemson,
Clemson Tiger, yep.
doing great things.
Him and Nick
there.
Schnabel.
Yes, yep. And so that team, that was once again another extremely talented team.
No doubt.
That went very far and then just came up a little bit short. But just keep knocking.
Yeah. No,
So-
that's the plan for sure.
So with Backage, we're always like, okay, we always be out there to cheer him on. Now that time we didn't have megaphones.
Yeah.
And
right.
so to start the game, he would come out, do a little tip of the cap to us. Well, we're like, well, heck with this. We want more than just the tip of the cap.
Right.
And he's like, well, I can't run out there to you. And we're like, well,
Watch.
yes, you can. So you know what we started doing? We started throwing our hats on the field.
It's like a hat trick. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, come get it.
So then he would come get the hats.
Yeah.
He'd give them to us. He'd do a little jump.
Oh, that's
And then he'd go
awesome.
play some baseball.
That's so
We're like,
awesome.
yeah. And then, sometimes coaches, they're either going to, that's going to come to an end.
Yeah,
Or they're going to embrace
it, right.
And they love it. And LeClaire, he was another one of those guys. He loved it. He
That's
loved the
awesome.
energy. I mean, you talk about, if you look how Cliff is, you look how Eric is, you look at anybody that was
In that tree. That's right.
under LeClaire, you just see that passion and that energy, and they're going to give you anything and everything for the team.
Yeah.
And that's the key. It's for the team.
There's no doubt. And
Yeah.
because Eric and Nick came to play us in 22 at the LeClaire when they were with Michigan, and that was
Yes.
obviously cool. But if you watch college baseball this past season and watch the Florida and Clemson Super Regional, or regional, I guess, that was incredible within its own, just because, like you said, the passion that
Yes.
Backett showed when his
Yes.
team was down, and you could count on 10 hands how many times Coach Godwin's done it like that, just because how
yes.
much he cares about
Yep.
us. So for sure. All right. Well, I have 5 quick hit questions. So I want you to answer these. They'll be at least one word to a sentence long. If you could have one player back for 4 more years, who would it be? And you could go as back as far or as recent as you want. Either way. It's tough to pick. I know. It's tough to pick. I know, but that's why we're here.
Oh, wow. One player back.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. I probably should have prefaced it a little bit, but
Yeah, because I'm thinking it was like, oh, Bubba said Hoover.
Hoover, okay. All right,
he's
that's
got
yours.
Hoover. Well, I'll go. He's got him. Well, then, one player back. Let's go.
you get all 4 years.
All 4 years. Shoo. I mean, I love me some Chad Tracy.
There you go, Chad Tracy.
Chad Tracy, there you go.
His daughter just committed her to play softball over there, which is pretty cool.
Saw
Yep,
that,
no
yes.
doubt. All right, what are the best teams / fans to play against?
Best teams.
So best team,
fans.
best people to interact with, best fans, most friendly fans. Say it that way as well.
Oh, let's see. Well, nobody in the triangle.
Yeah, figured. Yeah, could imagine that.
Oh, for baseball, I'm gonna go. Let's go with
UNCW. I feel like
Wilmington's. They're fun.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina, they were fun.
Okay.
They were a little.
they were a little shaky at the
Yeah.
Yeah, they came in. They were talking a lot.
Yeah,
junk
go
and
figure.
stuff,
Yeah,
but
shocker. I've
they're
heard
like-
good thing about Tulane, but yeah,
Yeah, but this is the tough thing about our conference. You don't a lot of
all over
they
the
don't
place.
they don't bring a lot of people to our
Yeah,
stadium. I mean,
that's
it's a
the
lot
issue.
of our people.
Yeah.
So you're more looking at local people that are local teams that bring groups in.
right.
You know what? I got it. Navy.
Really?
Yes, Navy.
Huh.
Navy. Whenever they would come, one, the respect that we have.
Yeah, no, for
the
sure.
military. Two, our going back to our original field. Navy comes to town. They got a guy, Luke. He was their left fielder, and that guy played literally on the warning track. And you talk about embracing us. They had 12 runs the whole weekend. He scored. He was involved in 8 of them.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
2 home runs, all the RBIs and everything. He had 8 of their 12 runs for that weekend. And that guy, he played right back there. And so his dad came up from Atlanta. He came out there to the jungle. We cooked for him. He
That's awesome.
drank with us, ate with us, and he ended up watching the rest of the games from the jungle with us. And so there you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Navy-
That is so cool.
Navy's going to be that team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There you go. If you had to pick one favorite moment in the jungle that's non-baseball related, it's like a funny moment, emotional moment, whatever it may be. Is there one of those for you that comes directly to mind?
Well, catching the ball in the megaphone.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a pretty good one. I mean, to be able to go ESPN top 10 plays.
Yeah, that's not
was,
bad.
That was pretty cool. So
Okay.
getting woken up and like my kids come running down. Hey,
Dude, you're on
Dad,
TV.
You're on ESPN.
That's so cool.
So that's a good one. As far as when we were finding out that we were having a boy or girl, and it was Casey.
Oh, that's awesome.
We go to our ultrasound, then we rush on out to the field. We're playing Carolina. Well,
Have a day.
so I told all my people, I'm like, look, there's no way in this world we're going to put anything blue in this stadium.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be a boy, it's going to be purple.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a girl,
It's
it's
gonna be
going
gold.
to be, it's going
That's
to be gold.
awesome. Oh.
And so we let the balloons fly, and everybody in the stands, they knew that we were having a girl. So,
Oh, that's that's a great story as well. Gosh.
And then my 50th birthday party was another good one. So I'm born in December 27th is my birthday.
Okay.
But my party was in February,
They-
opening day.
You got to figure it out, don't you? You just have it all planned.
It was a surprise party that my
There
wife,
you go.
my wife threw on for me. So it was supposed to be a 2:00 start. I had a retreat that day that was ending at 1, and everything got moved up to 1 because of the rain out on Friday.
Okay.
And so here we are. I'm pulling into the jungle, which the parking attendants, they were like, you can't just come in here. And
Yeah,
they're getting
yeah.
ready. It's first day, opening pitch. I got to get there.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, go ahead. Just make sure you move your car at some. Well, they didn't care.
Yeah, no, they don't care.
It's opening
Go
day.
Pirates, yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
for me, they're like, okay.
Yeah, we'll pass
So
it.
I pull in. I go running up to go in, and there's a whole bunch of people out there, and they're cheering for me. And I'm like,
It's like, what? All right, cool. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, let's go. Pirate baseball.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it's your birthday. This is your party.
Oh my gosh. It's like, dude, what?
And so Craig comes up and she's like, "Yep, so are you surprised?" I'm like,
He's like,
"Just
sure
a
am.
little."
That's funny. All right. Well, second to last question. What was your, and I half asked you it earlier, but what is your favorite baseball specific moment? Is it a home run? Is it some big strikeout that you saw? Is it whatever it may be? Is there one that you still, like we were talking about earlier, get chills about specifically that it comes to or baseball in particular?
Whenever the 2000, I think it was the 2002 team,
Okay.
they win the conference tournament, and this is in Kinston.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when LeClaire, he had already been diagnosed. He was in the van.
Right.
And they win the conference
Oh,
tournament.
I've heard this story.
To be able
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
to the regional and everything. And they go and take the Gatorade and they dump it on the van that he's inside.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want to talk about emotional? Oh, man.
Oh, and it's also whenever after we lost to Tennessee in Kinston, and I'll never forget Audrey going up to him and he said, "Don't worry, baby, we're going to get there." Yeah. And then he got diagnosed. Mm-hmm. And some other moments out there as far as baseball goes. I mean, when we had the walk off against South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
And then whenever you have, I just look at all the different center fielders and outfielders, left fielders, all the guys that have gone crashing into that wall to bring a ball back.
The Hoovers, the Brysons of the world, for sure.
I mean, when Bubba says Hoover, you can't help but just love that guy.
It brings a smile to your face every single time you get brought up.
You just say his name. And then, just being able to cheer on Cliff as a player.
Yeah.
And now being able to cheer on Coach Godwin.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Watching him hit just a massive bomb in Kinston, and there was a warehouse. They tore the warehouse down, but that ball landed when he hit it. It landed somewhere in the middle of the top of that warehouse. He just unloaded on it.
Yeah. We've seen the video and stuff, and he got a hold of it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, last one. We'll get you guys out of here. This has obviously been a great year for baseball. A lot of things accomplished. A lot of guys leaving, obviously. It was a very old team. A lot of guys graduated, transfer, whatever. Drafted as well. But we have obviously started a Bible study, started doing sports works. We have Bible verses on our wrist with our wristbands, the discipline equals freedom stuff, all of this stuff. And I think Christ really brought us together as a team this year just because of the way that Carter brought it all together, homers that help. Charlie Hodges, Parker Bird, obviously with whatever that he had going on. But it made me think initially because I didn't find out that you were the leader of a youth group till I don't know, probably sophomore, junior year. So it was I didn't know right away. And hearing that you still do the stuff you do on Sundays and go to the games, doing the stuff you do where in the community where not many people could juggle 4 kids and that, you know what I mean? And so I guess the last thing that I'll ask you is with seeing how Christ has worked in not only the baseball team, where it hasn't always been that way, where it hasn't been clearly as evident as it was in this past year's team, how happy are you, one, that Christ has gotten you to this point because of, like you said, walking into Corinne's office and being, oh, yeah, megaphone, maybe that'll work.
Yep.
All the moments that you just described. I mean, the friendships that you've made, the moments good and bad, the baby revealing, you're going to your daughter's graduation, then rushing back to the field, like all this stuff that Christ has put in your life and given you the opportunity to do with us. I just feel like us being in that position, being able to express it, our love for the Lord to everybody else, I feel like that's got to be so special. But how do you feel knowing that over all this time, he has been able to give you such a grateful and cool position to put yourself in, not only you, but your family as well?
Like I said earlier about faith, family, and fun, God's the center of everything. I start each day off with my devotional, and I just thank God for everything he's going to provide for me.
That's right.
And I end my day with being able to go to sleep with knowing that I can put my head down on that pillow and know that I have done everything I can to be able to serve somebody else, help somebody else, and just spread the love that God wants us to spread. My favorite Bible verse is faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. And so with everything I do, I'm going to bring as much love to the situation, even if I'm having to get on a child and disciplining them.
Sure.
I'll tell them, I'm like, look, yes, I'm disappointed that you chose to do this action, but it doesn't mean I don't love you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's the same thing that God does for us every day. Jesus died for us. He gave the ultimate sacrifice.
That's right.
There's nothing, even if I gave my life to protect somebody, that's just one or two, maybe a few people. But guess what? He did it for everybody. He did it for everybody.
That's right.
And, you know, if we can always keep God at the center,
the world will be such a better place.
Anytime I'm worried about something, I'll just go to prayer. I'm like, it's amazing how much more confident, how much better I feel.
Absolutely.
And so if I'm ever like, what? Nope, don't worry about it. God's got this.
For sure.
And that is something that has always been instilled in me. I've always grown up in the church. I've always loved, known that God has loved me, and I am going to do everything I can to love others. And love wins.
Yeah, that's right. Sure does.
And so I'm just going to, every day, just go and be that person that God wants me to be, knowing that I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I make plenty of mistakes. I do many things wrong, and it's okay. But I do know this, that at the end of the day, God's there for me, and He loves me.
That's right.
And so to see how everything has happened with the team, you can't help but just think how wonderful, because not only does it affect what y'all do, but look at all the kids
Yeah, no,
that
I was
go
just
to
about
these
to say,
games.
yep.
Because, you know, you're talking about Bible studies. Well, Bryson, he started a Bible study with his Hope baseball team last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's
And so it's just like
so special.
Plant the seed.
Water it.
Keep planting the seed. And the team has done it. They've embraced it, and it's a wonderful thing. You know, a lot of times I try to keep certain parts of, like, I try and respect the space of the players.
Right.
But at the same time, I have to realize, you know what? These guys, there's a reason why they're doing the things that they do. And so I want to get some of y'all to come in to talk with my youth group.
Yeah,
and stuff
sure.
like that.
No, seriously, we'd love to. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity, but you're spot on.
But so many of them, they see what the team is doing, and they hear about it, and we talk about it. But I'll have to get y'all to do a little. Here you go. Bring you on in.
Yeah, we need to do it.
Talk with our youth group.
Absolutely.
And go from there.
No, I mean, it's funny that you say that, because Carter and I have a small group that we go to with Todd Howell and a bunch of other guys, and we've talked about it before, just how people watch baseball, specifically everything that we do. Like, we have a haircut a certain way, we wear our batting gloves a certain way, like stance, like they will copy it just because we are the guys they look up to.
Yep.
And when we started to embody being a Christian and all this stuff, I feel like that was even more of a gravitation. I'm like, all right, like him, maybe I'll start a Bible study. Maybe I'll start getting more into the Word and all this stuff. And it is rubbed people the right way. It's rubbed people the wrong way, just as anything does. But I hope that with obviously the conversation that we've had today and the stuff that you've done and talked about and the role model that you are to everybody in the community and the stuff that we did on the team this year as well, it is a shining light to people that are searching for something, for sure. But I appreciate you coming on today, man.
Well, I mean, think about it as a parent. As a parent, you can tell your child, we need to do these rules. These are the rules. But when they start to see their role models, the athletes that they love doing things, it's definitely going to hit home even
way better.
So much better.
It's like, I'm going to watch and listen to him, not mom and dad.
Yeah. I mean, and then they'll come back like, hey, you know what, mom and dad, you're right.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yes.
Yeah. It's all about the principles. Well, thanks for coming on. Seriously, it was, like I said, it was on such short notice, but I really do appreciate it, and had a great conversation, so I hope you enjoyed it.
It was wonderful to be here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Go Pirates.
Bub, you want to give us a Go Pirates?
Arg.
That's right.
Arg.
Appreciate you guys.